You ever get that feeling of digital whiplash, where the news you're seeing feels incredibly urgent, but also kind of impossible? Well, today we're going to tackle that feeling head-on. We're not just going to look at misinformation. We are going to take it apart, piece by piece. I'm going to show you a powerful method to deconstruct the very architecture of these digital lies, so you can see exactly how they're built and, more importantly, how fast they crumble.
So, bam, it explodes onto your feed. You hear a voice, totally breathless, telling you this is happening right now. A federal judge just ordered the seizure of everything, not just Mar-a-Lago, but Trump Tower too. The scale of it feels absolutely massive, like a world-changing event.
But hang on, before you can even process that, another story drops. Wait, he's in court at the exact same time? This one describes this insane confrontation. He physically gets up, points right at the judge, and says something that makes U.S. Marshals step in. The details are so specific, so vivid, you can almost see it.
And then, another one, the Supreme Court. All 9 justices, unanimously, have just dissolved his entire company. It's just a flood of information, right? The stories keep piling on, each one more shocking than the last, and they're all supposedly happening at the very same time.
Okay, that feeling you have right now, that sense of being totally overwhelmed by chaos, that's the whole point. It is a deliberate tactic and it's designed to completely bypass your critical thinking. But today, we're flipping the script. We're going to go from being passive consumers of this stuff to active investigators.
So, what we're really dealing with here isn't just fake news. It's actually something much more sophisticated. Researchers have a name for it: fraudulent publicity. These are entire narratives that are built from the ground up to feel real. They're engineered to make you feel scared or angry and to trick you into believing something that's not just false, but completely logically impossible.
So, how do we possibly fight back against this? Well, we use a very specific framework called the NoteBookLM method. And what this does is it uses a particular kind of AI, not as some all-knowing genius, but as a super-focused research assistant. And this is the most important part. It only knows what you tell it. That is the absolute key to staying in control.
The magic behind this whole thing is a concept called AI grounding. Just imagine putting an AI inside a sealed library where you have personally handpicked every single book on the shelves. Now, it can only answer questions using the information inside those specific books. It can't go online, it can't invent facts. Its entire universe is the evidence you give it.
And this slide right here shows you the critical difference. On the left, you've got your general-purpose AI. It's creative, yeah, but it can also hallucinate or just make stuff up. Sometimes it's even politely wrong, just agreeing with a false idea to be helpful. But on the right, you have a grounded AI. This thing isn't a conversationalist, it is a clinical expert. It is forced to show its work, giving you a citation for every single claim it makes, linking you right back to the original text you gave it.
Okay, so our very first step is to just cut through all the chaos. We take all that emotional, overwhelming material, like the transcripts from those videos we saw, and we use our grounded AI to do one simple thing: extract a clean list of claims. We're telling it to ignore all the manipulative language and just pull out the alleged, testable facts.
And what we get is something the researchers call a Goya-esque reveal. Like how the artist Goya would paint these flattering royal portraits, but also expose the grotesque reality behind them? Well, this sterile, boring table does the same thing. It exposes the raw absurdity of these stories. When you strip away all the emotion and just lay the claims out side by side, the fraud is undeniable. A person cannot be in court on January 29th, have their property seized right now, and also be facing an impeachment vote from the last 72 hours. The whole timeline is just impossible.
All right, the timeline has completely collapsed. So now we dig deeper. Step 2 is all about finding the cracks within each individual story. We're going to turn our AI into a total skeptic, and we're going to ask it to find arguments against these narratives using only the words the creators themselves gave us.
The technique for this is called adversarial prompting. See, instead of asking the AI to confirm what we already think, we're ordering it to find the flaws. We're not asking, hey, is this story true? No, we're telling it, find every single argument in here that suggests this event is illogical or contradicts the other sources. We're literally weaponizing the AI against the lie itself.
And here's the really cool part. The AI finds the contradictions almost instantly because we forced all these conflicting stories into the same room. They literally collapse under their own weight. I mean, look at this. One source praises a judge as a Reagan-appointed conservative to sound credible, then just minutes later calls his actions a communist show trial. These stories were never meant to be looked at together, and that is their fatal flaw.
Okay, for our final step, we're moving on from deconstructing the facts to exposing the tactics. We're going to do what you could call a linguistic audit. We'll ask our AI to identify the recurring, manipulative patterns these creators use over and over again to hook their audience.
And just like that, the AI generates a playbook for spotting deception. Look at these tactics. There's urgency logic, phrases like stop scrolling that create a panic to short-circuit your brain. There's false authority, claiming access to sealed memos to make the narrator sound like some kind of insider. And I love this one, junk SEO. That's when they drop in totally irrelevant but sensational keywords like a coup attempt in Venezuela, just to game the algorithm and pull you in. This isn't just a list, it's a fraud detection checklist.
So, there you have it. This method is now yours to use. And really, the most important takeaway here is the shift in your mindset. Going from being a passive recipient of information to an active investigator who questions and probes and verifies everything.
This slide basically shows you the cycle of verification. You import the suspicious sources. You ask targeted adversarial questions. You always check the citations to make sure the AI is being honest, and you synthesize the flaws. It's a simple, repeatable process that puts you in command of the information, not the other way around.
And you know, this is why this whole thing truly matters. This isn't about playing whack-a-mole, debunking individual fake stories one by one. The goal here is so much bigger. It's about recognizing the underlying patterns, the very architecture of deception, so you can build an immunity to this kind of manipulation for good.
Look, the tools that are used to generate these false realities, they're getting more powerful every single day. But so are the tools for deconstruction. A grounded AI notebook can be your own personal space for clarity, a place where you can build your own understanding based on verified evidence. So the real question is, what will you choose to build?